All right, so we've given y'all your Ole Miss a football preview. Make sure you check that out, okay? But
Somebody gonna be mad.
we can't give you the Ole Miss preview without giving you the Mississippi State preview, okay? They
Yeah.
are the two SEC teams from the SIP, you know what I'm talking about? So we gotta do both for you. You feel me?
Yeah.
And we will do so, okay? But we not only cover that, okay? We've given you your Jackson State preview. Make sure you check that out. We've given you your Alcorn preview. Make sure you check that out because we are thorough. We are thorough, okay?
Come through with it.
Why? Because we are the realest, most entertaining sports show in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on something. I am your homeboy first, and that is my brother, Tim G. Jacob,
Yes, sir.
honorable one.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
but
Yes, sir.
let's go ahead and get into it. I know my brother has diagnosed these scams. Okay, he's done his research. Okay, and he is ready to give y'all his forecast on Mississippi State football for this year. Okay, we're gonna look at the letter grades for the defense, the passing game, the running game, special teams, coaching, and you'll get the overall team grade. Okay, so T, what's your forecast for Hale State?
I'm gonna I'm gonna start this thing off like this. You know, we used to watch the Chappelle show,
We did.
and I think the skit on there said basically, haters gonna hate, lovers gonna love. I don't really want none of the above. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it did say that.
I do, I do.
It said some other stuff too.
I ain't gonna say what he said there, but I'm just saying, State really has every reason to say exactly that right now.
Okay.
Here's why. Here's why. You roll out, you look at the all SEC teams, and I don't have first, second, or third, but these are the guys that made the all SEC teams. This coming up year. I believe it's this coming up year. Will Rogers at quarterback, Cole Smith offensive line, Nathaniel Watson and Jet Johnson, who they told me were the two leading tacklers in the SEC. Now, let me paint that picture. That ain't a linebacker from Bama. That ain't a linebacker from Georgia. That ain't a linebacker from LSU. That means Mississippi State got the top two tacklers in the Southeastern Conference coming back next year. Or this year, I'm sorry. Okay. So then I give you Jaden Crumedy from deep on the defensive line. I give you Tulu Griffin at kick returner and Xavier Thomas at punt returner. Those are all SEC guys on Mississippi State team. You notice something if you watch the Ole Miss segment. I ain't saying nothing about no all SEC guys on there, but I'm gonna leave that alone. I ain't trying to be petty king, even though Kiffin is the portal king.
He gonna do it to me again. And if you missed our last segment, okay, you gotta go check that out. I'm reacting that way because this man Lane Kiffin that complained about the portal, and now he got the name the Portal King for snatching guys at the portal. Oh, okay, go ahead, T.
All right, let's get to Mississippi State. So, Will Rogers is the guy who is the definitive starting quarterback. Ain't no question. This ain't God rest his soul. This ain't that Mike Leach stuff that he was trying to pull last year where Mike Leach was like, Will might start or might not. Because he did throw that out there for a little minute. No, Mike. No. He for real gonna start. Now, the question is, Zach Arnett is the replacing coach of Mike Leach. He's the new guy on the block. Then you got a new DC. Because, of course, Arnett was the DC, and it all changed. But the thing that I separate Mississippi State from Ole Miss, the thing that I like the most, I get you got talent. People will say, man, Ole Miss brings in talent. But, boy, it's something to be said about experience. It's something to be said about a young man that has been 2-3 years in the SEC setting versus a guy that came from James Madison, came from Central Florida, came from all these other parts of the earth to pull up and come play SEC football. I'm just being real. I'm just being real.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it'd be like coming from somewhere where boxing ain't a culture, and then you go to New York or somewhere, some state in the East Coast or wherever boxing is prominent, and then talking about you gonna step in the ring, whoop somebody's ass. They ain't how that work.
Well, the pound for pound king right now to you is from Omaha,
It's from
Nebraska.
Oklahoma, and I agree. He's from Omaha. I agree. I agree. I agree. I don't disagree with that.
But you're saying that's rare though,
But it's rare.
huh? Okay.
It's rare.
Okay. I got
You can't play SEC. Like Terrence Crawford said, you can't play boxing. You can't play SEC.
you. Right.
All right. So, but they've got talent. And that's the thing that gets me, because as you look at a lot of the prognosticators, they're saying basically Arnett's not good enough to go get a win or 2 or 3 in the SEC. Some prognosticators say that they ain't gonna win a game in the SEC. It just depends on who you read, who you listen to.
Shit.
A lot has been said about Mississippi State football, and you know that's just perfect for the setting. Because if you're gonna sit here and you're gonna tell a team that lost their head coach last year, passed away, new coach comes in, coaches them in the bowl game. He was the interim then, coaches them in the bowl game. They win the bowl game. They bring back lots of talent, both sides of the ball. Okay, now they lost Emmanuel Forbes on the cornerback, on the secondary, on the back end, but they brought in a Kamari Rogers. You know him. You know who that guy is.
Shout out to Kamara. Shout out to his pops, Coach Rogers, Holmes County Central. Shout out.
You know who that guy is. They brought back the Cameron Richardson, who was a third leading tackler on the team last year at corner. Tyrus Wheat, I think he's on the front 7. He had 6 sacks last year. They brought in some other transfers. One guy, Freddie Robertson, from wide receiver transfer from Eastern Washington. You brought in Sidhu Traore, I think is the way to say his name, tight end transfer from Colorado. They brought in transfers too. Everybody can go get in the portal. Everybody can go drop their bucket in the well and get some water out. Everybody can go do that. Ain't no problem.
Yeah.
You know, and some other tight end guys that are coming in from the likes of Georgia and TCU that they bringing in.
Okay.
But the recruiting class this year, Mississippi State's recruiting class, and this is the ironic thing. This is the thing that makes SEC so dominant. They had the 34th ranked class coming in this year. They were the 10th ranked class in the SEC. Now, ain't that crazy? You getting it out the mud amongst all these schools in the country, and you had the 34th ranked class in the country, and yet you got the 10th best class in the SEC. That means there's 9 teams that just went a lot harder than you did. That's crazy. But it's all on how you coach them up. Here's the thing I'm going to say about Mississippi State. If you're going to walk your ass into a stadium and play football against them, this ain't finna be no layover. This ain't finna be no lay down type squad. They're going to play to the end. Okay? I think that's the kind of identity that Zach Arnett's going to bring. Now, their schedule, it's a tricky schedule. Very tricky schedule. Because they start out the season, they start out with Southeast Louisiana and Arizona first, right out the gate. Okay? You get the things ironed out. Then week 3, you get LSU coming to your house. Coming to state. Big game. That game right there sets the tone for the rest of the way, in my opinion. Okay. Man, even if you lose that game respectfully, like a tub, you lose by a tub, you lose by 10. Oh, you played them hard and okay, 4-quarter wheels just fell off. Okay. Whatever. Granted, I know that's not what they want to do, but let's just say you play an admirable game against LSU. That's a building block. But now you gotta turn around. You gotta go to South Carolina and play at South Carolina. That's a road game. That can be tough. South Carolina, they tricky. You never know what you're gonna get from them. Spencer Rattler and company. Then you got to come back home and play the likes of Saban and company and Bama. Tough little 3-game stretch there.
Okay.
You get Western Michigan at home, should be a little bit of a cakewalk. Then you get on the bus and you go to Arkansas and to Auburn. Next 2 games, tough ones. Come back home, play Kentucky. Go back on the road, play Texas A&M. Then come to them Golden Eagles near the end of the year. They got to come see us towards the end of the year, and then you get Ole Miss and the Egg Bowl.
That's on the road. That Southern Miss game on the road.
No, this at home. We coming to them. I'm sorry, we coming to them.
Okay.
So this is just a very, very, very tricky schedule for Mississippi State, and so how that team navigates that's going to be interesting. But could they go on the road and beat South Carolina? Yeah. Could they go on the road and beat Arkansas? Yeah. Could they get a Kentucky game, beat Kentucky? Could they go on the road and beat Auburn? One of those 2 games, whatever the case may be. People saying that this team is not going to win an SEC game, one, or they may win one. They may give them Kentucky. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. It's like, did you not see what they did last year when they beat Ole Miss? I think I said that. I think I booked that. I think I told America early on that they were going to beat Ole Miss. I think I did say that. We can go run the tape back. But that's neither here nor there. Passing game, they got some talent. They got some speedsters on the outside. They got some returning talent. They bringing in some transfer talent. Tulu Griffin, Xavier Thomas, those are guys that I think can be dynamic. The question is going to be is it going to be a by committee thing? But when you got stability at the quarterback position, I think they can figure out the chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. The offense will look different. The defense will kind of look the same, but the offense will look a little bit different. But I foresee this team being a little bit more balanced, not necessarily wanting Will Rogers to sling it all over the atmosphere. But in times in which he needs to do it, he's very well capable of doing it. So I give the passing attack a B-. And I give a B- because they've got some continuity in spots. It's not like Ole Miss, where you don't know when you walk into week 1 or week 0, or however you want to call college football these days, who is your guy?
Yeah, they brought this week 0 shit.
It's like, okay. So now we undivided or undecided or whatever it is now, with these numbers and stuff.
We're going to get integers in this motherfucker. We're going to go get -1s and -2s up in this bitch. What we doing now?
Yeah, there you go. That's it. So I tend to think that, okay, the first 2 games of the year are 2 very good games that Mississippi State should win handedly and be able to figure some things out before they play LSU at home. Their schedule sets up really nice. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sneak peek game. If they sneak them. It could be a sneaker. Let's just see how they look first 2 games of the year. But it could be a sneaker. LSU might, come walking in holding their nuts, and then all of a sudden play a state team that's a little bit more into what they're trying to go do. Because anybody can get their ass beat in the SEC. Anybody. Any day of the week. So I just want to point that out there as a aforementioned or foreshadowing of what could go on. Don't be surprised if these boys beat LSU in week 3. Don't be surprised. But passing game, I'm gonna give a B- because there's some continuity there. They brought in some transfers. Everybody's bringing in transfers. I like to bring in transfers myself, but that's neither here nor there.
Shut your mouth. Shut your damn mouth.
I just want to get you started. Damn
it.
I just want to get you started. That's all. It's for the TV. It's for the people. I just want to get you started. And I got you started. I did my job.
Oh, God.
But don't sleep on State. The running attack, yeah, okay. There ain't no 1,000-yard guy in terms of Ole Miss. There ain't no 1,000-yard guy. I got it. but they do have a very solid offensive line. State does, and they're very experienced line.
Mm.
Um, Cole Smith, I think, is on the I can't remember if it's the Remington Award list, but he's on one of those lists. He's on the watch list, and they've got some experience there. And I think Zach Arnett's going to play a style of ball that's not going to be detrimental to winning ball games. He's not going to take a lot of risk. It's not like Kiffin going for it for fourth down 45 times in the season or nothing like that. And did you know this too? I didn't know this, but now they don't stop the clock on first down. They keep the clock rolling. I think that's a new rule now.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out for a lot of these teams. One being Ole Miss. I know this is bleeding over into the state preview, but I think that state is one of those teams that you cannot sleep on week to week. If Zach Arnett's the right guy, which I think he is the right guy at this point. I love to see what signature win he'll pull out.
Do you think people sleeping on him because of the name record? Like,
yeah, the name
Leach
record.
had the name record like a motherfucker.
He did.
For a motherfucker that didn't have a national title, he had name record. And for this cat, it's like, who the fuck is this?
It is. Some people think the hire is poo-poo. Some people think that the hire was not the best hire. They could have went a little bit better. They could have did a little bit better. They could have left him at the DC. If the new staff wanted to come in, new coach wanted to come in and keep him. But I'm not going to sleep on this guy. I'm not going to challenge his passion for the game. Because this is all new. This is all new experiences we're gonna see. We're gonna go down through that with Mississippi State this year. People think they're not gonna be competitive. I think they are. And I think they are just simply because of the fact that the front seven is good enough to compete in the SEC. There's no clear cuts in the SEC. People say Georgia's going to run away with it. I disagree. I think Georgia's going to get challenged. I think if Georgia doesn't play their most optimal ball every game, every week, they're going to get beat. Georgia can can't afford to make the mistakes they may have made last year or the year before and think that they're just going to walk off with the game. That's what I'm saying about Georgia. I think there's questions. I think LSU, are they going to be what their talent says they're going to be? So that's what I'm saying. That's why I say the SEC is wide open. And if you walk into any stadium on any given week, you're gonna get got. But to get into the grades, passing game B minus. Defense is a B, and I say the defense is a B because when you got the two best tacklers in the SEC on your squad, that makes up for a lot of it. And then you also got Jaden Crumity sitting there, and they got some other dogs out there. No pun intended. But they've got some talent in the front seven. Now, you would say the secondary, what's that going to look like? I think that can be coached up. And in this day and age, secondaries, they either are good or they're bad. Or they just need to be able to put their hand in the passing lane to deflect a pass or two. I mean, just be solid. I think that's what it is now because the way ball is now, you can't pull on these boys, you can't tug, you can't hold, you can't be physical. So they just got to be smart. They've taken the secondary game out of football. Bottom line. So coaching staff, I think I'm gonna treat them like Ole Miss and give them a C, but I think they're gonna trend up quicker than Ole Miss will. I think they'll trend up quicker than Ole Miss will because they'll be masked by the fact that they've got talent on both sides of the ball that can make up for a lot of the bad calls or maybe not so maybe the not so good calls. Those moments, I think those kids being in those positions where they've been there before, they know what's going on. I think Mississippi State can kind of overshadow some of that. I'm not saying these coaches aren't talented. I think they are. I just think the experience will outweigh the staff.
Okay.
Like, okay, you send the play in, but I know what to do if the play don't work. That's what I'm saying. So, what you need? The overall grade?
You gave me your defense, right?
I gave defense.
Yeah. Special teams and overall grade.
Special teams. Well, Tulu Griffin is all SEC performer at kick return. So, hey, they're solid A minus. I mean, he's got this juice, he's got the speed. They've got some guys that can burn it. He's a, like I say, he's an all SEC performer. Now, the kicking game might be a little, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, to be honest with you, the kicking games in terms of field goal making, if you ever seen Nick Saban pull his hair out, then you know it's week to week with these kickers. So, but when you got a guy that can maybe get good field position like a Tulu Griffin, then I think I think that could go somewhere. So I give him A minus. I mean, because they got a guy that is proven that knows what to do in those situations, that knows how to make a play.
Okay.
But overall, I give this team. I mean, how can I put it? A B minus minus. I don't want to give him a C plus plus. I'm gonna give him a B minus minus. This is why I'm gonna give him a B minus minus.
Okay. Okay. Talk to me about
Because I can't give him a C plus plus because there's experience on both sides of the ball.
Okay.
These guys have been in the SEC trenches. I think, albeit the prognosticators say they can't win one SEC game, maybe can win one. I look at this schedule and I go on the road to South Carolina. Granted, they just come off of the LSU game. But say they beat LSU. Or say they play tough with LSU and then go back the next week and whoop South Carolina at South Carolina. That's one. Say they can, on their 2-game road trip, beat Arkansas at Arkansas. They may lose to Auburn, but beat Arkansas. Or lose to Arkansas, beat Auburn. That's 2. And then they turn around, they go down there to the 12th man, beat Texas A&M. Do y'all think I'm sitting here and going to actually think Texas A&M? Texas A&M is going to be somebody. Do y'all really think I'm going to sit here and act like Texas A&M is going to tote the mail this year? You got me messed up. You got me messed up. As dysfunctional as that school is right now in terms of football, just last year they told me they had one of the best recruiting classes in the country. What they get them?
But they just got them in there, T. They just got them in there.
Okay. So if you get some really nice Amazon packages in your home, you just got them in there, right?
Well, okay. Well, you could take that Amazon package out the wrap, and that motherfucker gonna do what it do. Them boy might have to marinate a little bit, T.
Is it?
He might have to coach him up a little bit.
So we asking Jimbo to do what he's supposed to been done.
That's what he supposed to do. That's what he supposed to do. Jimbo supposed to be one of these coaches.
So what we saying is Bobby left him a Barry Switzer.
Now that's a big statement.
Ooh.
That's a big statement.
So you saying Bobby left him a Barry Switzer?
That's a big statement.
Mm-hmm.
He supposed to be 1-to-1. He supposed to be able to coach him up. He supposed to be a quarterback whisperer and all that.
Yep. And they said that Rose supposed to be one of them ones too. And you know how you feel about that. Count the basket. I came on here to talk my shit tonight. I'm just telling you like it is.
Oh God.
Texas A&M can miss me. So they can go on the road and go get that. They can go beat Kentucky at home, turn around and beat Texas A&M. That's 2 games right there that the prognosticator said they wasn't gonna win. Come on now. Come on now. That's just where I'm at. That's just where I'm at. Now,
Okay. Okay.
overall grade, I give this team that same B minus because they just got the experience, and I'm gonna ride with that. I want to be proven wrong behind this squad. I'm okay with going down with the ship with this squad. All Coach Arnett got to do is coach them up, be prepared every week. And to be honest with you, based on the coaches we know in the SEC, ain't nobody just like that outside of a Saban or a Brian Kelly. And we'll find out about Brian Kelly soon. Week 1, I think they got Florida State.
So you ain't counting Georgia coaches as a like that?
Well, Kirby. No, I'm saying Kirby's
Kirby
like
Smart?
that. Kirby's like that. That's proven. That's no doubt.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, with the is the luster off of Saban?
Because I would say, do we know Brian Kelly is really like that?
Oh, I've always been suspect on him now. I don't know who that guy is.
Because see, Brian, okay, this is what I think Brian thought. I'm up here at Notre Dame. Notre Dame got all these academic requirements on me.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking with me. They keeping me from getting these boys up in here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go down here to this SEC. I'm going to go down here to LSU. And no shot at folks from LSU, okay? I'm sure that people that graduate from LSU, y'all go and do great things in life, okay?
Yeah.
But LSU does not have the same academic requirements as Notre Dame has.
Of course not.
So he like, I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna get them boys.
Yeah.
And in his mind, he probably thought he was gonna come down here and run this shit.
No.
That's what he thought. That's what he thought. I'm telling you now. Let me get down here and get that kind of talent. And he thinking if Les Miles came down here and won a ship, then goddamn it, I know I can win one. That's what Kirby was thinking in his mind.
Yeah. Okay.
And we gonna see. Not Kirby, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm tripping.
Yeah, let's say Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly was thinking that in his mind.
Yeah.
Kirby didn't did what he fucking supposed to do. He didn't learn from Nick Saban. He didn't took the Nick Saban blueprint, took that shit to Georgia, and he did what the fuck he supposed to do.
And what did Smokey Robinson say on Gangbanging?
I totally misspoke on that. Okay, I'm talking about Brian Kelly, motherfucking ass.
But what did Smokey Robinson say on Gangbanging?
Where you going
Smoking that dough, cooking that coal, gang banging. That's what that man said. That's what that man said on there.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly need to stop it.
Oh God.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So you said if Brian, I know, look, I know this is Mississippi State preview, okay, but it's all tied in. If Brian leave that bitch without a ship,
Brian finna get that buyout. Brian, look, Brian already know. Look, man,
is it an utter failure?
if he don't get that ship,
National title, not
National
just no SEC.
How can he? He didn't do it at Notre Dame.
But that's what I'm saying. Brian thought them academic requirements. I'm telling you, he thought that's what would hold him back.
Orgeron didn't do it.
Ed did get him one.
Oh, my bad.
Ed got him one.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Ed
My
got
bad.
him
Ed.
one. My young boy from Kansas, Mississippi was on that team.
My bad, Ed.
Shout out to Banky. Banky was on that team.
Joe
Burrow, you know, yeah.
Let me start over.
It's crazy how Ed.
Let me start over.
It's crazy how they gave Ed the boot after that shit.
That's right. This is what I want to say.
They gave Ed the boot.
They used you for what you're good for, recruiting. That's one.
They got rid of Ed.
2, you fell in the right place where the money was gonna be plentiful.
Did Ed have a scandal or something to you? I can't
All
remember.
coaches have a scandal. It just matters if they got found out or not.
I gotta look that shit up. I can't remember. All this, it be so much shit going on. I can't remember. Ed might have had a scandal, man.
It all coaches have a scandal.
Oh, Ed Orgeron, man. Them boy, that boy got him a nanny, bro. And
Be
then,
honest with you. Be honest with you. I don't even attribute. I don't even think about Ed Orgeron with that
okay,
because I know Ed from Ole Miss
uh-huh.
and all these different years where he brought in the talent and didn't do nothing with it. He just got the best of the best. Let's put it like this here. That squad was bought and paid for. This is gonna keep the buck.
All of them bought and paid for those
But
teams.
this one was like blatantly in your face, bought and paid for. It wasn't like it was built from the beginning.
Okay.
Joe come from Ohio State because they didn't want to give him to work there. They brought in Justin, Terrace Marshall, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, all these boys. And all Ed had to do was say, "Go Tiger." And that was it. Now, I know I'm going to make a lot of folks from LSU hot, and that's okay. And I know this is a state preview, but I just want to personally say that you didn't have no problem. You had all these boys had to do was stay alive and they were going to win. That's my point. He brought in the right staff. He got the right amount of money, and he won and won. And I respect that. That's why I fucks with Coach O. Stop sleeping on Mississippi State. That's my point. That's the point of all this. Don't act like you finna just poo-poo Mississippi State every week. Cut it out. Because, they want to tell me about Kentucky and Devin Leary coming from NC State. And I'm like, wait a minute. But there's a whole Will Rogers over here that's been winning games in the SEC, throwing it around the yard. But you want to tell me Devin Leary is like that? No, you ain't finna do that to me. You ain't even piss on my head and tell me it's raining. That's just not what's finna work. Respect Mississippi State. I'm warning all you SEC schools. Respect Mississippi State this year. If you think they finna just lay down and just finna just let you do whatever, you might want to watch What's Love Got to Do with It limousine scene. I'm gonna be done with it. That's all I'm saying.
Oh God.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's wild that motherfuckers really shit on them like that. They finished the year last year.
Zero.
Based on what I'm looking at. They finished the year last year as in the final AP rankings as the number 20 team in the country.
With the core experience there, back, return.
Well, maybe it's like you said with with Mike Leach not being there, shit, maybe motherfuckers just really don't believe in the head coach.
They don't.
They don't believe in the head coach. They don't know the head coach. He ain't got no name record like that. So motherfucker like they believe in that air raid. They and Mike Leach was good copy. You know what I'm talking about? The media loved Mike Leach now. He was good copy.
Yeah, it was.
As they like to say. So
and we've taken him to task on here before.
I'm gonna keep taking his ass test. I don't give a fuck. But that's be for his politics. Yeah. But that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, with people saying they'll be lucky to win one SEC game. That's
what I'm saying.
That's very interesting. Okay,
put some respect on their name, man.
Real ones, y'all chime in. Let us know what y'all think about Mississippi State going into the 2023 football season.
It's gonna be interesting.
Put it on some.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.